and welcome to an audio-only review from me because I have a bad back and I desperately need a new pair of glasses, so I physically can't record and edit a review this week. Sorry, but that's just the status quo at the moment. On a lighter note, a big thank you to everyone who liked and commented on the last review. I would have done a review last week or some kind of video in the meantime, but I was busy with work. I had an assignment for this week because of a new review thing that I was working on, so I just didn't have the time for it. But in any case, it is always great to see your continued support and kindness, and the comments that we got from last week's video. Comments from Krolos informing me that I missed I had a major misunderstanding on a plot point from the previous episode, and from Deco123 about the format that we're currently running. It is always good to see your likes, your comments, and all that kind of YouTubey stuff that YouTube wants you to do, because YouTube is an increasingly scary place for small content creators. So if you would be so kind, give us a like, click the bell, leave a comment if you really want to. It would do me a power of good. As always, be sure to support your local small content creator these days, because you've got to feed the algorithm. Next video that you watch, be it a big YouTuber or a small YouTuber, give them a like, maybe subscription too, and it will do them a power of good. Now with that all out of the way, let us get on to the review. Okay, so to be honest with you, dear listener, this wasn't quite the grand return that I was hoping for. Though, to be fair, this wasn't a planned break, so, you know, what can you expect? It wasn't like your usual mid-season break thing where it ends on a bit of a cliffhanger so that we can come back to something big and bold and exciting whenever it resumes. This was something due to a scheduling error, so this week, you know, we're back, and we're just back with whatever we were supposed to have last week. That's not to say that I didn't enjoy this week's episode. I'm just, you know, I just feel as though I'm going to be saying a lot of stuff that I said in the last review. I still think that we're being teased a little bit too much as far as the whole Meta Liberation Army stuff. You know, their motivations and what they're doing and even who they are. Like with the stuff where we saw everyone just sat there in silhouette, even though we knew who most of them were before they revealed themselves. And the whole nature of their belief system still being something that's just in the background and something that's not been explained to us, even though it was kind of hinted that it might be. I got this feeling that we're probably never going to have it explained to us, so good or bad depending on your feeling of things. I got a feeling we'll get a hint of it as we go forward, and I think a hint is probably about as much as we need, but as a whole entity, it does feel as though we need a little bit more of something from them. To be fair though, we are just very early into this story arc, so we're not really seeing them doing much at the moment, but I am just kind of getting a little bit fed up with them just being in the background like this. I need to see them doing something. I don't need to see them robbing banks or throwing planes at people or getting the Infinity Gauntlet or whatever the hell superheroes are doing these days. I just need to see them doing something aside from just sitting there looking sinister and enigmatic in the background, as we've seen them in this episode and as we see them in the opening sequence. Again, we're only a couple episodes into the arc, but, you know, maybe next week we'd like to see them doing something, or at least we get a face to put to the voices, or a voice at least to put to the faces. As far as all the things in the episode are concerned, you know, we have Shoto and Bakugo and Midoriya still on the work placement stuff with Endeavour, and we had an interesting bit with them talking about their powers and what they hope to do with them and what they hope to learn from them. And now, to be fair, this might be another thing of me misunderstanding something and misinterpreting something, as I did quite famously in the last review, but wasn't there a bit in this where Shoto said something along the lines of, to Endeavour, "I had no reason to hate you back then"? Did he say something like that? Because if he did, and I read that right because I am watching this subtitled, am I the only one that finds it a little bit odd? You know, because we all know that he does have good reason to hate his father. We all know his backstory. We all know what his dad did to him. Not just him, but his siblings and, of course, his mother. He might feel a little bit cooler towards his father in recent times, but still, it's still justified here. Again, I might be critically misunderstanding something as I did with the last episode, but you know what? If this is interpreted quite as I think it is, then wow. You know, I was always a little bit nervous that they might try to rehabilitate and soften Endeavour a little bit too much here, but you know, we'll see. That's maybe a bridge we'll cross if we actually cross it. Again, I might have misinterpreted something because I watch these pretty much first thing in the morning with me breakfast on my lap, so you know, we'll see where we all go with that. The hero stuff that the lads did was neat to watch. You know, I do enjoy seeing hero work in this show, even if we don't really see much of it. Oh yeah, sure, we see people saving the day, but we don't see the more mundane superhero stuff, which, you know, it's fun. It's fun. I enjoy seeing stuff like that. And I did enjoy that little still image montage of students from Class A and B going on to their work placements. You know, it was fun. It was fun to see who they were working with and what they were up to. You know, some of them just looked like they were off to get a coffee or they were just loitering about. To be fair, though, that's the kind of stuff that I wouldn't mind actually seeing. I really enjoyed the slice of life stuff in this show. And they're probably the only person on this planet who wouldn't mind an entire program where it's just our cast doing stuff, having a normal life and just getting up to weird and wonderful things in their everyday doings. But you know what, that's a whole other thing. You know, and this is the point where we're just going to start getting into stuff that I pretty much said in the last review. You know, the stuff with the Meta Liberation Army, it looks interesting, but at this point, it's just there. It might well turn into this very interesting ideological battle rather than just a typical hero v villain thing. Even if at the end of the day, it might just end up wrapping up with Midoriya or whomever punching their leader very, very hard in the face. It might be something bigger and deeper, it just might be superhero fun times, but in either case, at this point, we just need to see a little bit more of them. They're just a little bit too enigmatic in the background. How all this will manifest again, I really do not know. We know that the Meta Liberation Army is connected to this company that was set up a couple episodes ago in the Christmas special. Alright, we don't know that, but it's safe to assume that they are them. As to where all this will go again, I really don't know, and it's getting a little bit frustrating that we're not getting to that next level quite yet. I know that we're starting to get towards the business end of the whole My Hero Academia story, but you know what, I want to see stuff progress. I know a lot of people really didn't like the tournament arc stuff, and I can understand people not liking it, but here and now in this big storyline that's supposed to be the next big thing, at this moment we're just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen. It's a lot of setup, and I'm just waiting for a little bit of payoff. Even if it's just our villains stepping out the shadow and going, that will be fine for me right now. What about you, dear listener? What did you think about this week's episode of My Hero Academia? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section down below and I'll get back to you shortly. Either directly in the comments themselves or towards the end of next week's video. Be sure to do all the YouTubey stuff that YouTube wants you to do. Thank you very much and see you next time. Goodbye! Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favourite, subscribe, click the bell and do all the YouTubey stuff that YouTube wants you to do. Go on, it'll do me a power of good. Until next time, my friends, goodbye!